Hello my scholars, you are welcome to my school YouTube channel and my name is Frank. In today's video we shall be tackling JAMB CBT mathematics past question for the year 2001. So relax, do not go anywhere and we'll be right back. You are welcome back to my school YouTube channel. In today's video, we shall be solving question 26 to 50. So let's begin with question 26. Differentiate 2s plus 5 in bracket square, then 2x minus 4 in bracket with respect to s. So let's move over to the board to provide answer to this question. So we are given x plus 5, 2x plus 5 square, then x minus 4 in brackets, and we are asked to differentiate this. Okay, so in order to differentiate this, first of all we have to solve this. Okay, what we have in the first bracket using chain rule, then before we now solve together using product rule. Okay, so let us differentiate straight. So the y, the s will be equals to, because we are trying to differentiate this. So first of all we are going to keep this and differentiate what we have here. So we're having 2x plus 5 raised to power 2. Then if we differentiate what we have inside this bracket, that will be 1. Then plus, now we are going to keep this and we are going to differentiate this, okay? So if we keep this x minus 4, and if we differentiate what we have in this bracket using chain rule, we'll be having 4 bracket open x 2x plus 5, okay? So this is what we'll be having. Then now, let's write out what is common between what we have on the board. So 2x plus 5 is common, so we'll put it in bracket. And on the other side, we're having 2x, okay? And on the other side, we're having 2s plus 5, okay? Then plus, so let's multiply this. So this will give us 4x, then minus 16, okay? So this will be equals to 2s plus 5. So if we tidy up this, we're having 6x, then plus 5 minus 16, that equals to minus 11. Okay, so if we differentiate 2s plus 5 raised to power 2 in bracket and x minus 4 in bracket, this will be the answer. 2s plus 5 in bracket, then 6s minus 11 in bracket. So let's return to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question. So from our calculation, option D agrees with the result that we got. So that makes option D the correct answer to this question. Question 27. Find the area bounded by the curve y is equals to 4 minus s squared and y is equals to 2s plus 1. Okay, so basically to solve a problem like this, the first thing first is to get the limit. Okay, so in order to get the limit, we are going to subtract between the two areas. We are going to subtract the two areas, okay? So let's move to the board to provide answer to this question. So the two areas, y is equals to 4 minus s squared, and the other one is y is equals to 2x plus 1. So if we subtract between them, we'll be having 4 minus s squared minus, in bracket, 2x plus 1. So that we'll be having 4 minus s squared minus 2x minus 1, all should be equals to 0. Okay, so if we tidy this up, we'll be having minus s squared, okay, then minus 2x, then plus 3 is equals to 0. We have to factorize this to get the value of, first of all, let's multiply through by minus 1. So that we'll be having x squared, then plus 2x minus 3 is equals to 0. So if we factorize what we have now, we'll be having s to be equals to 1, or s is equals to minus 3. So this gives us the limit. Okay, now we now differentiate the result of subtracting the two areas, which is s squared plus 2s minus 3 with respect to x. Okay, so if we differentiate this, we'll be having s raised to power 3 over 3, then plus 2s raised to power 2 over 2, then minus 3x. So we have to apply our limit, which is 1 and minus 3. Okay, so now we have to multiply again, okay, by minus 1. So that if we multiply by minus 1, we'll be having 3x minus s minus, of course 2 we cancel 2, so here we'll be having minus s squared, then minus s raised to the power 3 over 3. So let's apply our limits. Okay, so if we apply our limits, first of all, our first limit here will be having 3, then here we'll be having minus 1, then we'll be having minus 1 all over 3. Okay, then minus the second part, okay, which is 3. Okay, so here we are going to fix minus 3, and that will give us minus 9. Then if we take the square of minus 3, that will be plus 3, but we'll have minus, so here we'll be having minus 9. Then here we'll be having minus, of course, if we take the cube root of minus 3, that will be minus 27, right? And 27 divided by 3, that will be equals to 9. So minus 27 divided by 3, that will be equals to 9. So here we'll be having also minus, but take note, since we're having minus 9 here, minus times minus is going to give us plus, so you'll be having plus 9. Okay, so in bracket, so plus 9, we cancel out minus 9, right? So that at the end of the day, of course, if we tidy this up, we'll be having 5 over 3, then plus, so minus, we multiply minus to give us plus 9. Okay, so if we solve this together, we'll be having 32 all over 3. Okay, so 32 all over 3 in mixed fraction will give us 3 whole number 2 all over 3 square units. Okay, let me just put it here, square units. Okay, so let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question. So from our calculation, we got the value of the area to be equals to 10 whole number 2 over 3 square units. So that makes option C the correct answer to this question. Question 28. Find the rate of change of the volume V of a sphere with respect to its radius r when r is equals to 1. So let's move over to the board to provide answer to this question. So since we are asked to find the rate of change of the volume of a sphere with respect to its radius, simply what they're asking us to find is the V, okay, the r of the volume of a sphere. And we know that the volume of a sphere is 4 over 3 pi r cubed. So we are expected to differentiate this. So if we differentiate this, we'll be having 3.4 over 3 then times pi r raised to power 2. Okay, so 3 we cancel out 3, so that at the end of the day, our dv dr is equals to 4 pi r squared. But in that question, we are told that we should take r to be equals to 1. So anywhere we see r here, we replace it with 1. So that we'll be having 4 pi then 1 raised to power 2. So everything here still results to 4 pi. Okay, so this is the rate of change. Okay, this is the rate of change of the volume of the sphere with respect to the radius. So let's return to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question. So from our calculation, we got 4 pi. So that makes option B the correct answer to this question. Question 29. If y is equals to s sine s, find the y ds when s is equals to pi over 2. So let's move to the board to provide answer to this question. So we are asked to differentiate x sine x, right? So to differentiate s sine s, we are going to be using product rule. So the y ds in this case will be equals to, okay, so the y ds of x sine x will be equals to, of course, we are going to keep our s for x and we'll differentiate sine x. So if we differentiate sine x, that will give us cos x. Then plus, we are going to keep our sine s and differentiate x. So if we differentiate s, we'll be having 1, then our sine s that we kept. Okay, so but in this question, we are asked to take s to be equals to pi over 2. So anywhere we see s, we replace it with pi over 2. So here we're having pi over 2, then cos pi over 2 plus sine pi over 2. Okay, but remember that pi over 2 is equivalent to 90 degrees. Okay, sine 90 is equals to 1. Okay, so that our answer is equals to 1. Okay, so let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question. So from our calculation, we got 1, and that makes option C the correct answer to this question. Question 30, find the dimensions of a rectangle of greatest area which has a fixed perimeter P. Okay, so to solve this question, basically we are supposed to find the maximum value of the area. Okay, so in that case, it involves differentiation and the rest. Okay, but if you check the options given to us, we are given some values. So these values, we are going to substitute it into the formula for calculating the perimeter of a rectangle. Okay, so let's move to the board to do that. So we are just going to pick any option randomly. So we are going to pick option D. Okay, so we know that to calculate the perimeter of a rectangle is 2 bracket open L plus W. But in this question, we are told that the perimeter of the rectangle is equals to P. And we are just going to try any of the option that is given to us. So we are choosing option D. And option D is square of sides P over 4. Okay, so that means L is equals to P over 4 and W is equals to P over 4. So anywhere we see W, anywhere we see L and W, we are going to replace them with P over 4. Okay, so 2 bracket P over 4 plus P over 4. So let's see if this will be equals to P. Okay, so first of all, let's solve what is in the bracket. So if we solve what is in the bracket, we're having 2, then bracket, in bracket 2P all over 4. Okay, so 2 here is 1, 2 here is 2, so that we still have P over 4. So this is also equals to 2, then bracket P all over 2, sorry. So here 2 can cancel out 2, so that we have P left, which is also equal to the perimeter of the rectangle that is given to us. Okay, now let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question. Okay, so from our experiment, we actually use option D, which gave us the perimeter of the rectangle to be equals to P. So that makes option D the correct answer to this question. Question 31. Given the scores 4, 7, 8, 11, 13, 8 with corresponding frequencies 3, 5, 2, 7, 2, 1 respectively, find the square of the mode. So to get the square of the mode, we have to look at the frequencies. Okay, so the highest frequency, we look at the number that highest frequencies correspond to, or the score that highest frequency correspond with. So if we count, we have 1 to 3 from our left, right? From our right, sorry, we have 1 to 3. So we also move to the scores and count 1 to 3. So if we count 1 to 3, that means the mode, okay, of the score is 11, right? But here we are asked to find the square of the mode, which is 11 squared. And that will be equals to 121, which makes option B the correct answer to this question. Question 32. Given the scores 4, 7, 8, 11, 13, 8 with corresponding frequencies 3, 5, 2, 7, 2, 1 respectively, the mean score is. So let's move over to the board to provide answer to this question. Okay, so these are the scores and these are the frequencies. And remember that for a frequency table, mean S bar is equals to summation Fx all over summation F. Okay, so in this case, our summation Fs will be 4 times 3 plus 7 times 5 plus 8 times 2 plus 11 times 7 plus 13 times 2, 13 times 2 plus 8 times 1 all over the sum of all the mean. So that will be 3 plus 5 plus 2 plus 7 plus 2 plus 1. Okay, so if we multiply and add everything together, we're having 174. Okay, why if we add all the means together, that will be equals to 20. So here we'll be having 174 divided by 20. So if we divide, that will be equals to 8.7. Okay, so the mean of the score is equals to 8.7. So let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question, and that is option B, 8.7. Question 33. Teams P and Q are involved in a game of football. What is the probability that the game ends in a draw? Okay, so for the game to end in a draw, first of all, it will be either P wins or Q lose, or Q lose and P wins, or they draw. So in that case, we have 3 outcomes. Okay, so for P to win, we'll be having 1 over 3. For Q to win, we'll be having 1 over 3. Okay, and for both of them to draw, we'll be also be having 1 over 3. Okay, so the probability that the game ends in a draw will be equals to 1 over 3, and that makes option C the correct answer to this question. Question 34. If 6 permutation R is equals to 6, find the value of 6 permutation r plus 1. So let's move to the board to provide answer to this question. So basically here we don't know the value of r, so we will test for the value of r. So we assume that the value of r is equals to 1, so that I'll be having 6 permutation 1, okay, and 6 permutation 1 is equals to 6 factorial over 6 minus 1 in bracket factorial, and this will be equals to 6 factorial over 5 factorial, okay. 6 factorial is equals to 6 times 5 factorial, and here under we already have 5 factorial, so 5 factorial will cancel out 5 factorial, and that will give us 6. So that means r is actually equals to 1, okay. So now that we have gotten the value of r to be equals to 1, then we substitute it here, so that here we'll be having 6 permutation 2, because 1 plus 1 is equals to 2. So 6 permutation 2 is equals to 6 factorial over 6 minus 2 in bracket factorial, right? And that will be equals to 6 factorial over 4 factorial. But remember that 6 factorial is 6 times 5 times 4 factorial. Of course, you can decide to break everything down if you want to, all over 4 factorial. So 4 factorial will cancel out 4 factorial, so that will be having 6 times 5, and that is equals to 30. Okay, so that means that 6 permutation r plus 1 is equals to 30. So let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question, and that is option A, 30. Do you know you can take practice question with our JAMB simulated CBT past question? All you need to do is to click on the link in the description below, and that will take you to my school website. There you have to download my school mobile app for your Android devices and my school software for your laptops and computers. Please go ahead and start practicing. Moving on to question 35. Find the variance of 2, 6, 8, 6, 2, and 6. Okay, so let's move to the board to provide answer to this question. Remember that the formula for variance is equals to summation x, summation in bracket, okay, summation bracket open x minus s bar all square all over n. Okay, so but the first thing first is for us to get the s bar, which is the mean. Okay, so for the values, we just add them together and divide it by the number. I think there are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers there. So here we're having 2 plus 6 plus 8 plus 6 plus 2 plus 6. Okay, all divided by 6. So if we add this together, we'll be having 30 all over 6, and that will give us 5. Okay, so to solve for our variance, I think it's important to us to just get a little table which will make the work easier. So here is x, and we list all the numbers that are given to us: 2, 6, 8, 6, 2, 6, and here will be x minus x bar. Okay, so here we'll be having 2 minus 5, here we'll be having 6 minus 5, here will be 8 minus 5, 6 minus 5, 2 minus 5, 6 minus 5, okay, and here will be x minus x bar square, which is the result that we get from here. So 2 minus 5 will give us minus 3, so minus 3 square will give us 9, 6 minus 5 will give us 1, 1 square is 1, 8 minus 5 will give us 3, and 3 square is 9, 6 minus 5 will give us 1, 1 square is 1, 2 minus 5 will give us minus 3, and minus 3 square is 9. Then 6 minus 5 again, okay, will give us 1, and 1 square is 1. So if we add everything together, I think we'll be having, this is 10, this is another 10, this is another 10, which is equals to 30. Okay, so that our variance is equals to 30 divided by 6, and that will be equals to 5. Okay, so let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question. Okay, and that makes option B the correct answer to this question, 5. I believe you are enjoying this video content. If yes, please do not forget to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button, and lastly tap on the notification bell to get informed as soon as we release the next video. Question 36. Find the number of ways of selecting 8 subjects from 12 subjects for an examination. So for us to do the selection is going to take a lot of time. Hence, we are going to use the combination formula to provide answer to this question. So let's move to the board to simply do that. So in this case, we are having 12 combination 8. Okay, and 12 combination 8 is equals to 12 factorial over 12 minus 8 factorial 8 factorial. Okay, and 12 factorial is equals to 12 times 11 times 10 times 9 times 8 factorial over, so here we'll be having 4 factorial times 8 factorial. So 4 factorial, 8 factorial will cancel out 8 factorial, but 4 factorial is equals to 24. Okay, is equals to 24. So let's just write it 12 times 11 times 10 times 9 all over. So 4 factorial is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. That's actually 24. Okay, so 4 here is 1, 4 here is 3. Okay, 3 here is 1, 3 here is 1. So 2 here is 1, 2 here is 5. So at the end of the day, we are having 11 times 5 times 9. And that will be equals to 495 ways. Okay, so there are 495 ways of selecting 8 subjects from 12 subjects. So let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question, and that is option B, 495. Question 37. Find the range of 1 over 6, 1 over 3, 3 over 2, 2 over 3, 8 over 9, and 4 over 3. So let's move over to this board to provide answer to this question. Now remember that the formula for calculating range simply is the highest data minus the lowest data. Okay, so but in this case we are giving fractions. So first of all, we'll find out the largest fraction here and the smallest fraction. So to do that, what we simply do is we can make each of these fractions an equivalent fraction, okay, in which the denominator will be the same for each of the fractions. The denominator will be the same, or we can simply multiply the each of these fractions by the LCM of the denominators of this fraction. Okay, so the denominators of these fractions, we have 6, we have 3, we have 2, we have 3, we have 9, and we have 3. So in that case, the LCM of the denominators of this fraction is equals to 18. So we are going to multiply each of these fractions by 18. So here we're having times 18, here we have times 18, times 18, times 18, times 18, times 18. So we divide. 3 here is 1, 3 here is 6. So 4 times 6 is 24. So from here we can find out which of the fraction that is the greatest, okay, or the largest. So 9 here is 1, 9 here is 2. So 8 times 2, that will be 16. So 3 here is 1, 3 here is 6. So that 2 times 6 is equals to 12. So 2 here is 1, 2 here is 9. So that 3 times 9 is equals to 27. So here is 1, here will give us 9, so that here we'll be having 9. Here is 1, and here is 3, so that we'll be having 3. Okay, so the largest fraction is the one with the highest value here, which is 27. So the largest fraction is 3 over 2. Okay, while the smallest fraction is this 1 over 6. Right now, to calculate the range, we'll simply subtract the largest. We'll simply subtract the smallest fraction from the largest one. Okay, so in that case, we're having 3 over 2 minus 1 over 6. So the LCM of 2 and 6 is 6, right? So 2 into 6 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Then minus 6 into 6 is 1. Then 1 times 1 is 1. So that at the end of the day, we'll be having 8 over 6. Of course, 2 here is 4 and 2 here is 3. Okay, so the range of those values that are given, of the fractions that are given to us, is 4 over 3. So let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to these questions. Okay, and that is option D, 4 over 3. Question 38. Triangle SPT is the solution of the linear inequality. So I think from this graph, they want us to pick out the equations that actually gave us what we have on the board. Okay, so basically to do that, you have to make some observation. Now if you look at all the lines, they are all tick. So in this case, that means you're having greater than or less than or less than or greater than. Okay, now let's look at this. Now if you look at this line, okay, now it is the under part of this line that combined with the lower part of this line to form the rectangle. Okay, so what that means is that what we actually have here is less than or equal to, and what we also have here is less than or equal to. Okay, because it is the lower part of the line, the under of the line, not above the line, that actually meets together to form the rectangle SPT. So here we'll be having, instead of equal to, we'll be having less than or equal to 0, and here also we also have less than or equal to 0. Okay, so we have done that. Now if you look at this line, it's on the positive side of y. So what that means is that y is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, y is greater than or equal to 0. But if you check this other line, you'll find out that we are having it on the negative side of y. Okay, we are having it on the negative side of y. So that makes x to be less than or equal to 0. Okay, so from all I've said so far, the option that corresponds with what I've said so far is option C. Okay, so that makes option C the correct answer to this question. Question 39. The identity element with respect to the multiplication shown in the table above is, okay, so for an identity element to multiply an element equals to the element, and the element times the identity element will also be equal to the element. Okay, so this is what I mean. A star E will be equals to A, and E star A will also be equals to A. Okay, so let's try this out on the board that is on the table that is given to us, so that we can identify the identity element. So let's start with K and L. So K times L, that will give us M. So that will give us K in the first place, or L in the first place. So let's leave that out. So let's try K and M. So K times M is equals to K. Okay, K times M is equals to K. Now let's try M times K. Let's see what it will give to us. Okay, so M times K give us K. Okay, M times K give us K. Now look at this. K times M give us K. So what that means is that M is the identity element. So that makes option B the correct answer to this question. Question 40. The bar chart above shows different colors of passing a particular point of a certain street in 2 minutes. What fraction of the total number of cars is yellow? So first of all, let's get the number of yellow. So we just trace the yellow bar, okay, to the vertical line, and that is 3. Okay, so we have 3 yellow cars. Now let's get the total number of cars. So let's start from the first bar here, which is 3, then plus 4, plus 8, plus 6, plus 2, plus 2. Okay, so if we add all that together, that will be equals to 25. And we are looking for the fraction of the total of the cars that is yellow, and that will be equals to 3 over 25. Okay, so that makes option A the correct answer to this question. Question 41. In the figure, PQR, a straight line segment, PQ is equal to QT. Triangle PQT is an isosceles triangle. Angle SROQ is 75 degree and angle QPT is 25 degree. Calculate the value of angle ROST. Okay, so we are going to answer this question using the diagram that is given to us. If you look at this triangle QTP, okay, it's an isosceles triangle. And remember that the base angles of an isosceles triangle are equal. So if here is 25, that means here is also 25. So we can actually calculate for the third side of the isosceles triangle. Okay, so to do that, remember that the sum of angles in the triangle is equals to 180. So in order to get this place, we will subtract 50, which is 25 plus 25, from 180, and that will be equals to 130. Okay, so that means angle Q here is equals to 130. But in this question, basically we are looking for this angle, right? Now remember that the angle Q here, okay, is external to angle R and S, which are internal. And remember that the exterior angle of a triangle is equals to the sum of the two opposite interior angles, right? Interior angles. So in that case, 130 will be equals to 75 plus the angle we are looking for, which is angle S. Okay, so in order to get S, we just collect like 10. So in that case, we'll be having 130 minus 75, and that will be equals to 55. So this angle S here is equals to 55 degree. Okay, so the value of angle ROST is equals to 55 degrees, and that make option C the correct answer to this question. Question 42. Find the value of theta in the diagram. So let's move over to the board to provide answer to this question. So in order to get the angle theta here, okay, we will have to use cosine rule to get the angle. Okay, so here we'll be having cos A to be equals to b squared plus c squared minus a squared. Okay, so the side facing the angle that we are looking for is the small letter a, while the side facing b and c are small letter b and c respectively, divided by 2bc. So basically this is the formula that we are going to be using to calculate the angle A. Okay, so cos A will be equals to, so let's put in the values. So that will be L squared plus L squared minus root 3L square all over 2 times L times L. So this will be equals, if we add these two together, that will be equals to 2L square. Then here we'll be having minus 3L square. Okay, because 2 root 3 raised to power 2 and L raised to power 2 is still the same thing as what we have here. Okay, so this will kill off the square root, so that we'll be having 3, then L square is equals to L raised to power 2. So that is why we have 3L raised to power 2 here. So underneath we'll be having 2L raised to power 2 also, right? So if we subtract from here, because we can subtract, since the two powers of the L's are the same, so we can subtract. So if we subtract, we'll be having minus L raised to power 2 all over 2L raised to power 2, right? So the L squares we cancel out, so this we take out this, so that we'll be having cos A, okay, cos A to be equals to minus 1 over 2, okay? And remember that minus, okay, now we cannot find the value of the angle. Okay, so in that case we just take the cos inverse of minus 1 over 2. So A is equals to cos inverse of minus 1 over 2, and that will be equals to minus 60 degrees actually. Okay, so the minus sign is just showing us that this angle that you are seeing, this angle 60, is not in the third quadrant and is not in the first quadrant. Okay, hence the minus sign. So it is actually in the second quadrant and in the third quadrant. So to get the actual value, we just subtract this, okay, or we just add it to 180, and that will be equals to 120 degree. While the other angle 2 will be equals to 240 degree. Okay, will be equals to 240 degrees. So let's move over to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question. Okay, so if you look at the option that we have here, we have 120 degrees, okay, which agrees with one of the angle that we got from our calculation. So that makes option C the correct answer to this question. Of course, the reason why we choose only 120 is because the other one is not given. Okay, so option C is the correct answer to this question. Question 43. The bar chart shows different colors of car passing a particular point of a certain street in 2 minutes. What fraction of the cars is yellow? So basically we just trace the rectangular bars to the vertical axis. Okay, so first of all, let's get the number of yellow cars. So the number of yellow cars is 3. Okay, then we cannot get the total number of cars. So if we trace this here, we'll be having 3, then plus 4, then plus 6, then plus 8, then plus 2 plus 2. I think if we add all together, that will be equals to 25. Okay, so the fraction of the cars that is yellow will be 3 all over 25. So that makes option D the correct answer to this question. Question 44. The graph shows the cumulative frequency of the distribution of masses of fertilizer for 48 workers in one institution. Which of the following gives the interquartile range? Okay, so the first one we have A to be equals to 1 over 2, then Q3 minus Q1 in bracket. So 1 over 2 Q3 minus Q1 in bracket actually is the formula for calculating semi-interquartile range. Okay, but in this question they said which of them give us the interquartile range. Okay, so this is not the answer that we are looking for. So B is not also the answer that we are looking for. C is not also the answer that we are looking for. So option D will have Q3 minus Q1. So Q3 minus Q1 is actually the formula that gives interquartile range. Okay, so that makes option D the correct answer to this question. Do you have any question to ask? If yes, click on the link in the description below, and that will take you to my school website. There you can ask all your questions, and our team of solution providers will provide solution to all your questions within a short period of time. Moving on to question 45. The histogram shows the distribution of passengers in taxis at a certain motor park. How many taxis have more than 4 passengers? Okay, so these are the number of taxis and these are the numbers of passengers. So basically we are looking for taxis that has more than 4 passengers. So from here you can see that here we have, this is more than 4 passengers. Okay, so from here we trace, and that will be 7. Then from here that will be 5, which is, and 7 plus 5 is already 12. Okay, then plus 4, that will be equals to 16. Then another 1, and that will be equals to 17. Okay, so the number of taxis that have more than 4 passengers is equals to 17, and that makes option A the correct answer to this question. Do you have better solution or better step to any of these questions? If yes, you can reach down to the comment section below to comment the question number and the solution you wish to share. Question 46. Find the integral values of x and y satisfying the inequality 3y plus 5x is less than or equal to 15, given that y is greater than 0, comma, y is less than 3, comma, and s is greater than 0. Okay, so we can actually solve this question by inspection. Right now, look at the constraints that is given to us about y. They said y is greater than 0, but like y must not be greater than 3. So here y is not greater than 3 and y is not equal to 3. So if you look at all the integral values of x and y that is given to us on the in the options, you find out that option B has y to be equals to 3. Option C also has one of the values to be equals of y to be equals to 3, and option D also have one of the value of y also to be equals to 3. Okay, which do not agree with the constraint that is given to us. Okay, so that makes option A the answer to this question. Question 47. Evaluate in bracket minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, 3, 1, minus 1, 1, 2, and 1. Okay, so this is a matrix and we are actually asked to evaluate what we have inside the straight line bracket. Now, whenever you see a straight line bracket, what it actually means is that you should look for the determinant of the matrix. Okay, so let's move over to the board to calculate for the determinant of the given matrix. So this is the matrix that are given to us. Now we have different methods of calculating the determinant of a matrix. So I'm going to use this method: minus 1, 3, 1, minus 1, 1, 2, minus 1, minus 1, 1. Okay, so in this method, what I simply do is just to increase the number of columns, right? So by repeating the first 2 columns, by rewriting the first 2 columns. So yeah, I'll be having minus 1, 3, 1, then minus 1, 1, and 2. Okay, so basically what I will do is just to take, strike out 3 lines. So I will do this, I will do this, and I will do this, right? Then I will also reverse it. So I will do this, I will do this, and I will also do this. Now remember, this is the major diagonal. So I will multiply this, I will multiply these values together. Okay, I will multiply them together and add them. Then the result, I will subtract it, will be subtracted from what I get from the minor diagonal, will be subtracted from it. Okay, so let's deal with the major diagonal first. So here we're having minus 1 times 1 times 1, and that will be equals to minus 1. Then plus, here we're having minus 1 times minus 1, that is plus 1, then times 1, that is plus 1. Okay, now let's see what we have here. Minus 1 times 3, that is minus 3, times 2, that is minus 6. So here we have minus 6. So we are done with the major diagonal. Then the next thing is also do the same thing to the minor diagonals. Okay, so the minor, these are the minor diagonals. So let's multiply and see. So 1 times 1 times minus 1, that will give us minus 1. Okay, then 2 times minus 1 times minus 1, and that will be equals to plus 2. Okay, so here we have plus 2. Then the last one is 1 times 3 times minus 1, and that will give us minus 3. So let's put all this in bracket. So if we should tidy up this place, we'll be having that minus 1 will cancel out 1, so that we'll be having minus 6. Then minus, now if we do the same thing here, remember we have minus 1 here and minus 3, and that will be equals to minus 4. So minus 4 plus 2, that will give us minus 2. But remember that we have minus here. So minus times that minus 2, that will be equals to plus 2. So here we have plus 2. Now minus 6 plus 2, that will be equals to minus 4. So the determinant of this matrix is actually equal to minus 4. So let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question. Okay, so from our calculation, we got the determinant of this matrix to be equals to minus 4, and that makes option A the correct answer to this question. Question 48. Given the matrix K is equals to 2, 1, 3, 4. The matrix K squared plus K plus I, where I is the 2 times 2 identity matrix. So let's move to the board to provide answer to this question. So first of all, let's get the value of K. Okay, let's get the value of K squared. So K squared will be equals to 2, 3, 1, 4 times, okay, 2, 1, 3, 4 in brackets, right? So in multiplication of matrix, this is a column, okay, a row multiply the row of the first matrix multiply the column of the second matrix. Okay, so this first row is going to multiply the first 2 columns of the second matrix, and the second row will also do the same thing, okay, to form another matrix K squared. Okay, so if we do that, we'll be having 2 times 2, that is equals to 4. Okay, then 1 times 3, that will be equals to 3. So we'll add it together. Then let's move to the next row. Now 2 times 1 is equals to 2. 1 times 4 is equals to 4. Right, now let's move down to the second row. Right, so here we'll be having 3 times 2, and that is equals to 6. Then plus 4 times 3, and that is 12. Okay, now let's move to the second column of the second matrix. Okay, so 3 times 1, and that is 3, and 4 times 4, and that is 16. So we'll add all this together to form matrix K squared, and that is 6. Okay, so here we'll be having 7, 6, 18, and 19. Okay, so K squared is equals to 7, 6, 18, and 19, but we are asked to calculate K squared plus K plus I. Now remember that I is identity matrix, and in this case we are told that it's a 2 times 2 identity matrix. So for an identity matrix, the leading diagonals are all 1. So here is 1, and here is also 1, while the minor diagonals are 0. So this is your identity matrix. Okay, so now let's bring all this together. So here we'll be having 7, 18, 6, 19, which stand for K squared, then plus the given matrix, which is 2, 3, 1, 4, then plus the identity matrix, which is 1, 0, 0, 1. So we have to add all this together. Okay, so 7 plus 2 plus 1, that will be equals to 10. Okay, then 6 plus 1 plus 0. Okay, 6 plus 1 plus 0, and that would be equals to 7. Okay, now let's move down to the next element in the second row. 18 plus 3, that is 21. So 21 plus 0 is 21. Okay, then 19 plus 4 is already 23. Then 19 plus 4 is 23. Yes, then 23 plus 1 is 24. So here we have 24. Okay, so this is the solution to the problem that is given to us: 10, 7, 21, 24. So let's return to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question, and that is option C: 10, 7, 21, and 24. Question 49. If P is equals to this matrix, then minus 2P is. So let's move over to the board to provide answer to this question. So this is a case of a scalar multiplication. What this simply means is that we are going to be multiplying all the elements of matrix P by minus 2. Okay, so if we have minus 2 here, let's list out all the elements and multiply it by minus 2. So here is 6 and here is 1. So we are going to be multiplying these elements by minus 2. This is supposed to be minus 1. Okay, so let's continue with our multiplication. Minus 2 times minus 2, that will give us 4. Then minus 2 times 4, that will give us minus 8. Okay, then minus 2 times 5, that will give us minus 10. Minus 2 times 0 is 0. Minus 2 times 6 is minus 12. Minus 2 times 7 is minus 14. Minus 2 times 5 is minus 10. And minus 2 times minus 1 is 2. Okay, so this is the new matrix 2p. Minus 6, 4, minus 8, blah, 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 until you get to the last element there. Okay, so let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question. Okay, so from our multiplication, I think what agrees with our multiplication is option B. Okay, so that makes option B the correct answer to this question. Question 50. A man saves 100 naira in his first year of work, and each year saves 20 naira more in the preceding year. In how many years will he save 5,800? So let's move to the board to provide answer to this question. So this question is a case of a problem on it's a case of a question on sum of arithmetic progression. Okay, so the formula for doing the calculation is S is equals to n over 2 bracket 2a plus n minus 1 bracket close, then d all in bracket. Okay, where n stands for the number of terms. So in this case, that stands for the number of years. Y here is the common difference. Okay, y a here is the first term. So from the question, our first term is 100 and d is equals to 20. Okay, ys is equals to 5,800. Okay, so here we're having 5,800 is equals to n over 2. Then 2 times 100, that will be equals to 200 plus. So here we'll be having n minus. Okay, so since we already know that our d is equals to 20, so let's just multiply. So that will give us 20n minus 20 and bracket close. Okay, so we can open our bracket now. Okay, we can open our bracket by simply cross multiplying and using what we have outside the bracket to multiply everything inside the bracket in front of it. So 2 times this will give us 11,600. Okay, then we'll be having 200n plus 20n squared. Okay, 200n plus 20n squared, then minus 20n. So 200n minus 20n will be equals to 180n plus 20n squared, all is equals to 11,600. Okay, so we can divide through by 20. So if we divide through by 20, here we'll be having 580 and here we'll be having 9n then plus n squared. So from here we can rearrange to form a quadratic equation. So that we'll be having n squared plus 9n minus 580 is equals to 0. Okay, so if we factorize this, we'll be having n minus 20, okay, in bracket, and n plus 29 in bracket, all equals to 0. Okay, the reason for this is because the two factors that if we multiply together should give us minus 58 minus 580. Okay, the larger or the bigger of those factors, okay, must be positive, so that if we add both of them, we'll be having a positive, since here is plus, so that we'll be having a positive 9. Okay, so here if we have minus 20 plus 29, that will give us 9, right? So now remember, everything we have inside each of these brackets is equal to 0. So if we equate this to 0, we'll be having n to be equals to 20, and if we equate this to 0, we'll be having n to be equals to minus 29. Okay, so since we are talking about years, we can't have a negative value, so we discard this. Okay, so we only take this. So the man has to save for 20 years in order to be able to save 5,800. Okay, so let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question, and that is option C, 20 years. I believe you enjoyed this video content. If yes, please do not forget to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button, and lastly, tap on the notification bell to get informed as soon as we upload the next videos.